Welcome back, everyone. And we're continuing on in Project 6. And so far in Project 6A, you have drawn this one in Fusion 360, a parametric modeling software. So you should have this one drawn up. You should have exported it into an STL file. And now we're going to go in and show you a little bit about Mesh Mixer. Okay? So you're going to add your initials with Mesh Mixer, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So hopefully you have already downloaded the software. You have it on your computer. It's an Autodesk software, so you should have that right with where you've already signed in. And now we're getting ready to jump into Mesh Mixer, and I'll pull it up here, and it looks like this. Now, the one thing about Mesh Mixer, you're probably like, what is this? I mean, what's it any different than what I've already done? Well, think about Fusion 360. Like I said, it's a parametric modeling software, and whenever you do design work and save it, you've got it there. If you ever want to do a modification to it, you can open it up and you can modify and you can edit in it. And then you can export it back to an STL file. Well, in the real world, if you go to the web, and a lot of people, they'll purchase STL files online, or they'll go to a website where they can share, like Thingiverse. You can go in there and become a member of that, and you can share ideas with other people. You can, if they upload it, you can download it, and you can 3D print it. Well, the thing of it is if you purchase these things or you share and you get them in, you cannot do any modifications to that STL file unless you've got a software like Mesh Mixer, okay? It allows you to go in and do things to it and make it your own. So like we're going to do is we're going to add our initials to this, that little Project 6A. So to start out with, I'm just going to come in here and import. Hit import, and I'll find that project. I don't know, I've got Project 5. And this might not be the right one. No, it's the right one. It should be Project 6A. But anyhow, you can see how it comes in. I want to open this up. So one thing that you got to get is just your mouse. You got your wheel on your mouse. If you hit the shift button, you can take and rotate it. Hold the shift down and and smash down your wheel on your mouse. You can rotate it around. If you let off the shift, you can pan it side to side. You roll your wheel, pans it in and out. Of course, you got your top views over here on your cube, your view cube. So I've got this part in, but it needs to be flat on this. So this is a real easy way of doing this. If you come over here to edit, click on edit, you've got all these different things that you can do. Transform is where you want to be. Click on transform, and now you have the ability to take, and I can, if I grab that, I can move it, pull that up. If I were to catch that center point right now and hold it down and go back and forth, it will actually it will scale it, and you don't want that. You want everything to be left alone on that. But I want to rotate it around, and you can see over here in my transform, I want to transform it over 90 degrees. Well, I didn't get it there, but I can come over here and do it where it says 92. I can go and hit 90, and it's good for now. Just click off it. Don't hit accept until you get everything done. I'll hit my shift button in my wheel. I'll rotate that around and pull that down. I want that to be 90 as well, and I can see it turning right here. It's at 75. I want it to be 90 as well. Click. Perfect. And then I just want to make sure that it's that's about the center of that plate. I'll click right on the right. That way I've got it straight. And I'm just going to take and I want to bring it down until it touches the surface. Kind of pull it up there so I can see a little bit better. I just want it to touch the surface of the plate. And I think that's pretty close. Okay. So you see there, once I get everything done, I hit accept, and it's in there. All right, so the next thing that I want to do, and I should have done it first, is hit view and come down to show object browser. When I click on that, it shows me my parts. And I always keep this up here because it's so much easier to use to pick on things. Because you see how this is in here now? That is Project 5 STL. It should have been Project 6A. I didn't label it correctly. But now I've got this in here. And let's say, for instance, I want to add in my name, my initials. I want to put it right here on this. Well, this is how you do it. Over here to Mesh Mix, you have all these shapes. Now, I can pull any of those in any time. You see what I mean? And see how it adds another one in for me? If I go, see, I can click back and forth between them. But I want to get rid of that one, so I delete it. I want to Mesh Mix, but I want to put my name in this one. So I had to click on this right here for it to Mesh Mix. So I had to click on that to make it current. Primitive, slide over to letters. I'm just going to put my initials on here. Pull the J in and accept for right now. Mesh Mix, and I'll put my H in. Pull that in. I'll accept it. Wow, they're too big. Well, that's okay. And you see how now I got 3 of them? What you want to do is I want to take this one. And see, when I click on it, nothing happens. I don't have my ability to move and scale and all that. What you want to do is make sure you go to Edit and Transform. And when you do that, see now I can move it. And then I want to take and I want to move with my Shift and my scroll button. I want to take in right there in the little cube, and I want to just shrink this thing down. And I'm just pulling. That's all I'm doing. You have to kind of tinker with it to get it right. I'm just pulling. And I'll pull that up, and that's probably still too big. I'm just pulling to make it look like something that'll fit in there. And then you'll notice over here my scale is 0.1154, so I'll know what to do this one at. But anyhow, I'll grab this one now, and I want to go 90 with it. And again, over here, I can put -90, click off of it. So I know it's exactly where it needs to be. And I can now go to Transform again, and I'm just going to grab it. And you got to just grab this. This right here will actually stretch it if you grab the cubes. I just want to grab these. I just want to get it lined right up over top of it. There's my J. It's still a little bit too big, so I'll scale it on down just a fuzz more so both of them can get in with no problem. There that is. I like it. I'll bring it over a little bit further and bring it down so everything can fit in. And I look at my scale factor as 0.718. Okay. So now, when I click on this one, and I go to Edit, or I could have clicked it over here, I go to Transform now, and again, that scale, I can just type it in. My exact scale, so it's 1:1 right now, I can click it into whatever this one was. So Edit, find this one, and I just want to make sure that I've got that scale right. So, well, I lost my scale. I forgot. I think it's 0.118. So it's good to write it down as you're doing it. But you can actually go over here and do like 0.18. And you got to do it for all of it. 0.18. And if it's not, we can always adjust. 0.18. Accept it. I think it's pretty close. you lose that, just go back to View. All right, it's up there. Now I'm going to go to Edit, that, Transform, and again, I want to turn this thing 90 degrees. Okay, and scroll it around, and that's too big, but that's okay. It's all right, we can adjust. And it's underneath of it, so we got to pull it up just a fuzz so we can see what's going on. And then we can, we can make it look like the other. It's pretty close. So we get it pretty much set where we want it at. And now we can adjust it into the material. I just want it sticking up just a little bit, okay? So that looks fine to me. And then I'll grab this one and do the same thing. Transform. Pull that down there. And just have it just sticking out of the material just a fuzz. And if you want to adjust on it, you can. It's no big deal. But the main thing is, after you get that set, however you want it, the main thing that we've got to do now is we've got to combine this whole thing together. Before you can export it as an STL, you've got to go in there and you've got to put these all together. You see how they're all separate right now? If you just hit Control, click on every one of those, you can come up here to what's called Combine, and now it's all one piece. It's all at it. Now I can go up here to File, and I can export. And whenever I export, I'll just put it here. That's fine for my desktop. And you can put it on here as STL binary, STL ASC2 format, whichever one that you want to do. We'll do this one. And you can call this one is project 6B, I think would be this one, and save. And now you have that STL saved where it brings that in together as one piece. So now if I were to go File and start myself a new one, and I could actually import another one of these in. And let's say I go in here and look for that project 6A that I just made, or 6B. And they actually they got one setting on top of the other. I can hit Transform and we can move one of them. Do you see what I mean? This one here is the new one that we just made. Look how it's all together and pretty. This one up here kind of has the different colors, even though it is put together. Do you all see how that works? It is a great tool. I'm going to have another little video that's going to show you some of the other type of tools that is inside of Mesh Mixer that makes it really cool that you can do. And you can print from here. You can slice from here, but there's a lot of sculpting tools and Mesh Mix using primitives, things like that I want to show you just in case you ever want to do that down the road. If you need help with this, just let me know.